in line and behave the way she wanted him to. This prompted Blueface's mother, Chrisean, to step in and defend her son, because everyone knows that Chrisean has a reputation for being unpredictable and volatile. If she was bold enough to openly admit to having Ronny taken out, then it's not a stretch to think she might consider doing the same to Blueface if pushed too far. For those who might not be fully up to speed on the backstory involving Ronny, he first made headlines several months ago when he publicly declared that he was the real father of Junior. Ronny confronted Chrisean while she was out shopping at the mall, and the encounter was anything but subtle. He pulled up on her without warning and immediately started accusing her of lying about Blueface being Junior's biological father. The confrontation was captured in a video where Ronny can be heard saying things like, "The girl right here, Junior right here, weird as a weird me at the mall. You weird as, nobody's stalking you. That's my son." He was insistent and demanded that Chrisean come outside to address the situation face to face. Ronny made it clear that he deserved to have his suspicions put to rest through a legitimate DNA test. To drive his point home, he even posted a photo of Chrisean and Junior from that mall confrontation on social media, captioning it, "My son and my baby mom." It's a shame how far people go to control a lie. Chrisean, Blueface's mother, also got involved in the conversation and supported Ronny's claims. She argued that if Chrisean was so certain that Blueface was Junior's father, then she should have no problem agreeing to the DNA test Ronny was requesting instead of prolonging the drama. Ronny explained that the reason he hadn't pushed for a paternity test earlier was because he initially believed the DNA test that Chrisean and Blueface had done on the Zeus Network show was legitimate. However, he later discovered that the test was fake, staged purely for the sake of the show's entertainment value. Once he realized this, he became more vocal and persistent in demanding a real DNA test, but Chrisean consistently refused to comply. Tragically, just a few months after this public back and forth, Ronny met a violent end. He was fatally shot and found lying on the ground in front of a residence in Maryland, approximately 25 minutes outside of Baltimore. Police officers provided medical aid at the scene, and firefighters transported him to the hospital, but he succumbed to his injuries upon arrival. The authorities classified his death as a homicide and described it as a targeted attack intended to end his life. Ronny's uncle took to Facebook to post a heartfelt tribute, expressing his devastation and vowing that the family would not rest until justice was served. He wrote, "This feels like a nightmare. I've been up crying all night. I'm not supposed to bury you, nephew. You're supposed to bury me. Before Elijah was born, you were the closest I had to a son. I haven't felt like this since I lost my father. I watched you grow up and been there every step of the way. It hurts so bad that your life was taken, but I know you're at peace now. I'm praying for justice so we all can have closure. I love you and will truly miss you. R.I.P." Ronny's mother also shared her grief on social media, posting a gut-wrenching message that read, "Y'all really killed my son." After news of Ronny's death spread, especially since he passed away without ever getting the paternity answers he sought, the public turned their scrutiny toward Chrisean. Many criticized her for not granting Ronny the DNA test while he was still alive. In response, Chrisean posted a photo of a DNA test she claimed to have taken back in 2023, which supposedly confirmed that she was the mother and Blueface was the father. She vehemently denied any involvement in Ronny's death and even extended her condolences to his family through a social media post. She urged anyone with information about the incident to contact the police or Ronny's family directly. Despite her denials, Chrisean recently found herself in a heated altercation with Blueface. During this explosive argument, which took place at an airport, she was caught on video crying and cursing at Blueface. In the heat of the moment, she threatened that if he continued to toy with her emotions, she would put him in the ground just like she did with Ronny. Realizing she might have said too much, she quickly attempted to backtrack and clarify her statement. However, the damage was already done, and the video clip spread like wildfire across social media platforms. Blueface chose not to respond directly to the threats, but his mother, Chrisean, wasted no time in clapping back. She dragged Chrisean publicly, condemning her for making such reckless and incriminating statements. The situation has escalated to the point where word on the street is that Ronny's family became aware of Chrisean's airport rant and formally requested that the police reopen the investigation into his death. Given that the case was already ruled a homicide and no suspect has been identified, Chrisean's own words have now positioned her as the primary person of interest. The entire narrative paints a picture of a young woman caught in a web of personal conflicts, public scrutiny, and now criminal suspicion. Chrisean's relationship with Blueface has always been tumultuous, marked by public spats, accusations, and dramatic displays of emotion. Adding Ronny into the mix only complicated matters further, especially once paternity became a central issue. Ronny's insistence on proving his biological connection to Junior struck a nerve with Chrisean, who had built a public narrative around Blueface being the father. The fake DNA test on the Zeus show, intended as reality TV fodder, backfired spectacularly when Ronny discovered the deception and used it as fuel to challenge her claims. The mall confrontation was a pivotal moment that set the stage for the tragedy that followed. Ronny's direct approach, while aggressive, stemmed from a place of wanting clarity and closure. He believed he had been deceived and sidelined, and his public outing of Chrisean was his way of forcing the issue into the open. Carissa's involvement added another layer of legitimacy to Ronny's demands, as she represented the family of the man Chrisean claimed was Junior's father. Her call for a real DNA test was logical and reasonable, yet Chrisean's refusal only fueled suspicions that she had something to hide. Ronny's death was sudden and brutal, shattering his family and leaving unanswered questions hanging in the air. The details released by the police, a targeted shooting in front of a home, medical intervention that failed to save him, point to a premeditated act. The fact that the perpetrator remains at large has kept the case alive in the public consciousness, and Chrisean's subsequent behavior has done little to dispel the rumors swirling around her. Her initial condolences and denials seemed calculated to distance herself from the crime, but her emotional outburst at the airport undermined those efforts. The airport video is particularly damning because it captures Chrisean in a raw, unfiltered state. Her threat to bury Blueface like she did Ronny slips out amidst a tirade about respect and consequences. Even though she tries to walk it back by framing it as a general warning about karma or divine retribution, the specificity of referencing Ronny's fate is impossible to ignore. It's the kind of statement that law enforcement and prosecutors dream of, a potential confession made voluntarily and recorded for the world to see, in line and behave the way she wanted him to. This prompted Blueface's mother, Chrisean, to step in and defend her son, because everyone knows that Chrisean has a reputation for being unpredictable and volatile. If she was bold enough to openly admit to having Ronny taken out, then it's not a stretch to think she might consider doing the same to Blueface if pushed too far. For those who might not be fully up to speed on the backstory involving Ronny, he first made headlines several months ago when he publicly declared that he was the real father of Junior. Ronny confronted Chrisean while she was out shopping at the mall, and the encounter was anything but subtle. He pulled up on her without warning and immediately started accusing her of lying about Blueface being Junior's biological father. The confrontation was captured in a video where Ronny can be heard saying things like, "The girl right here, Junior right here, weird as a weird me at the mall. You weird as, nobody's stalking you. That's my son." He was insistent and demanded that Chrisean come outside to address the situation face to face. Ronny made it clear that he deserved to have his suspicions put to rest through a legitimate DNA test. To drive his point home, he even posted a photo of Chrisean and Junior from that mall confrontation on